Listen, you got me by the title. It takes too long to find like an "Am I the asshole" story that's not just like blatantly obvious. And this one might be blatantly obvious too, but like you read like 3 or 4 and it's genuinely like I saw a guy strangling his baby in public and I stopped him and said, "Please don't strangle your baby in public." Am I an asshole for thinking that babies shouldn't be strangled? And you're like, this is an AI. This is an AI that's like, let's test the humans. Let's see how bothered they are by baby strangling. Am I the asshole for bringing my own food to a wedding? So I am a 36-year-old female. I went to my college friend's wedding last weekend. I was really excited for it. She's a good friend and I wanted to celebrate. The issue I have is a medical condition that means I can't eat certain common ingredients, gluten and dairy. It's not a fad, diet, or a preference. This is so obvious within the first 2 sentences. You brought some gluten-free food? And they're like, what the fuck, dude? Eat my gluten, piece of shit. And you're like, all right, well, I don't want to do that. And they're like, you suck, but you don't suck. See, I don't even need to read the rest. This is what I'm talking about. I could be wrong, though. I get very sick if I eat them. I mentioned this on the RSVP card where it asked about dietary restrictions. The bride told me the venue couldn't guarantee anything gluten or dairy-free because of cross-contamination, but she'd hoped I'd make do with the salad and fruit. Okay. Like, they can't do anything about it, but hopefully you can just eat a salad. You know what I mean? Figure it out. I didn't want to cause trouble, so I just quietly brought a small container of safe food in my bag, literally just grilled chicken and rice. When dinner was served, I discreetly went outside for 5 minutes, ate it quickly, like from a bag, like Charlie with the spaghetti in a bag. That's what I imagine you're doing. You just have like a Ziploc bag, like a storage, like a freezer bag or whatever, and you're just eating chicken raw. Not raw. That's insane. You're eating it with your hands. I meant like raw as in like utensil-wise, you're going in raw, but you're not eating the chicken raw. That's what I'm imagining here, just so you know. When dinner was served, I discreetly went out. I already read this. I didn't make a scene, didn't bring smelly food, didn't take anything away from the event. Turns out the groom's mother saw me with the container outside and apparently told a bunch of people I was disrespecting the caterer. Mind your business, bitch. And making the couple look cheap. At the reception, making the family look cheap. Brother, please. At the reception, she confronted me and said I was embarrassing the family and that I should have just eaten beforehand if I had an issue. I explained that I wanted to be there for the full event and didn't want to faint or get sick. She rolled her eyes and said I was selfish and that the wedding is about the couple, not about your diet. Some of our mutual friends also agree that I made an asshole move and made the couple look bad. What are these people? I really thought it was just going to be the groom's mom because that's what you made this sound like. Like the groom's mom is just losing her mind and I'm like, okay. Like, this is probably a mom that, like, always wanted a dream wedding or something, but she had a lame-ass wedding, so she's living vicariously through her daughter. I'm not projecting here. I'm just kind of, like, assuming a lot in this situation. But other people viewed that and were like, ugh, you really suck. Like, who gives a shit? I might as well walk up in there with McDonald's, to be honest with you. You know? Y'all are really making me want to push it. I'll show you a real asshole, okay? I'll come in there with, like, salmon, then I'll microwave. I'll plug in the microwave. Okay? At my table. I'll find some way. Extension cord, maybe? I don't know. You want to ruin a wedding, brother? Listen, I can make it happen. Now I'm wondering if I really crossed a line. I didn't want to draw attention, but maybe I should have handled it differently. So I'm the asshole for bringing my own food to a wedding. No. What's the top comment? Not the asshole. You took care of your own needs. That's it. It is somehow respectful to eat food that would physically harm you? Well, no. I mean, the only argument that she made that could, like, really truly apply would be, like, her eating before the wedding, I guess. Which, whatever. I would love to, like, just eat a lot before a wedding and then just right in the middle of it have to go to the bathroom. Controversial! Sort by controversial. Fake, of course. What makes you think that? People here are so stupid to think the groom's mother gives a shit about some stranger nobody at her son's wedding. OP is also nearly 40 years old. So how is this old college roommate's husband's mother yelling at her 65 to 75? Yeah, no shot. I don't know. I've met 65-year-old women that suck. Is this, y'all really don't believe it because of that? Now, why would the mom care? That's the thing. Like, I ask myself this about many, many situations daily. Why would you be so upset about this? But there's people like that that exist. Sorry, I'm hitting the crab AFK in RuneScape. Maybe next time, let the person who's hosting know you're going to bring your own food. Maybe your friend could have made arrangements for you to get a plate to put your food on. Now, that's not a bad idea per se. You were a little tacky for eating out of a Tupperware at a formal wedding instead of eating before or after the event. But the MOG didn't have to launch a grenade over it. OP ate her food in the parking lot. Yeah, that is kind of crazy. They went out there, all comment about being a bot. Who writes these? Why is this even something we need to discuss? I mean, the OP did absolutely nothing wrong. It feels perfectly fake. They all feel that way. And I feel this way. Listen, this is part of the reason why I went like 2 weeks without uploading a Reddit Am I the Asshole video, because you sort by top for the week and you would think, surely 3 or 4, right? Good ones. But then you hit record and you record and you get to the end of the story because you don't want to read the story beforehand, and then because then I feel like you're not getting a genuine reaction out of me, right? Like I already kind of know what I'm going to say or whatever. That's lame. So I read them live, which means I record the amount that I throw out because I'm like, this story, there's nothing interesting about this, right? Like I know that I used the strangled baby as an example. That would be a crazy story, right? That's a bad example because that would be an insane story. But it's always just like, I held the door open for somebody and they said that I was being misogynist. And it's like clearly you're just holding the door open for somebody and they're like, I don't know, super feminist or something. And so you're not the asshole in that situation. But like that situation's not fun for me because it's just like yeah, there's some wacky, like super crazy feminist type who are just like, he held a door open. And it's like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but you know, but those stories don't feel real to me. Ironically, those are the stories that you'll see people saying, yep, this is definitely real. I've totally come across a radical feminist like this. And it's like, I've never held the door open for somebody but you know, it is what it is. I think they just get mad collectively. Like they decide what's fake based on, I don't know. However, possibly a better way to handle things would have been to ask your friend if you could bring a meal you had prepared and then gotten the caterers to put it on the plate. I mean, maybe. That would have drawn attention? Yeah, I guess so. Everyone would have been watching, like, how did you get chicken and rice, you bitch? I got this lame-ass salad. I mean, I don't think that your plan, like, the only way you could have made it better is if you ate it in your car, which would just be so, like, there's something kind of sad about that, but I won't really get into it. I won't really get into it too much. But yeah, so, like, definitively not the asshole, and it's just so easy. So easy. This is why you're only going to end up getting like one Am I the Asshole video a week at this point. Because it's like, damn, where is I'm trying to get torn up here. Where's some morally gray stuff?